During my school lice check, the nurse said, "I need Mrs. Davidson in here right now." But my head doesn't even itch. The nurse didn't answer. She was staring at my face with this weird frozen expression. "Honey, can you close your eyes for me?" She leaned in really close with her little flashlight, and I felt her breath on my cheek. Then she stepped back fast like I'd burned her. She stuck her head out the door and yelled down the hallway, "Mrs. Davidson, get in here now!" Mrs. Davidson came rushing in eating a granola bar. "What's?" She looked at me and the granola bar fell right out of her hand onto the floor. "Oh my god, we need to call her mother right now." The nurse pulled out her phone and started snapping photos of my eyelashes from different angles like I was evidence of something. "Don't touch your eyes, sweetie. Can you keep your hands in your lap for me? Why are you taking pictures of me?" I was starting to feel scared. The nurse didn't answer. She just kept taking more photos. Mrs. Davidson was already on the phone. "Yes, this is an emergency. You need to come get your daughter immediately." "No, I can't explain over the phone. Just come now." 20 minutes felt like hours. The nurse made me sit perfectly still. When Mom finally rushed in, the nurse pulled her into the hallway. I could hear them whispering, but not what they were saying. Then I heard my mom say, "What?" really loud. She came back in and her face was completely white. "Get your backpack. We're leaving right now." "Am I in trouble?" "No, baby, you're not in trouble. We just need to go." Mom grabbed my hand so tight it hurt. In the car, she kept looking at me in the rearview mirror with this expression I'd never seen before. We went straight to Dr. Peterson's office. "My daughter needs to be seen immediately. Her school nurse found something." The receptionist looked at me and her smile disappeared. "I'll get the doctor." Dr. Peterson brought us into an exam room and locked the door. He examined my face under the brightest light with a magnifying glass. He looked at my eyelashes without saying anything. Then he asked Mom to step outside. Through the door, I could hear him talking low and serious. Mom made a sound like a sob. When she came back in, her eyes were all red. Dr. Peterson started asking the weirdest questions. "Who watches you after school? Does anyone help you take baths? Has anyone ever asked you to keep secrets? I just want to know what's wrong with my eyelashes." I started crying. Mom was crying too. Dr. Peterson made a phone call using words like immediate referral and protocol for these situations. He gave us a card for another doctor across town who we had to see that same afternoon. The new doctor's office was different. There was a police officer in the waiting room. A doctor with gray hair examined me under an even brighter light with an even bigger magnifying glass. She asked me more questions about who touches me and where and when. I just kept saying, "I don't know, I don't know, I don't know," until I couldn't stop crying. Finally, she brought Mom back in. The doctor looked serious. "Given your daughter's age and the location of the infestation, we need to investigate every possibility. It could be from a contaminated bathroom, shared towels, or other fabric surfaces. Or it could indicate something more concerning. We need to talk to everyone who has contact with her." Mom's voice was barely a whisper. "You think someone hurt her?" "We have to rule everything out," the doctor said. "I know this is terrifying, but we need to be thorough." They took me into another room with even more bright lights. A nurse told me to put on a paper gown. Then they had me lie down on a table with my feet in weird metal stirrups. I started crying because I thought this was what happened before surgery. "Am I going to die?" I sobbed. "Are you taking something out of me?" The doctor and Mom both made this weird laughing crying sound. "No, baby, no," Mom said, squeezing my hand. "They're just checking to make sure you're healthy. Nobody's taking anything out. You're not dying." "Then why do I have my legs up like this?" "It's just part of the examination, sweetie," the doctor said gently. "We're almost done. You're being so brave." The whole thing was uncomfortable and confusing, and I didn't understand why they kept taking pictures and swabs and writing things down. When it was finally over, they let me put my regular clothes back on. Over the next 2 days, people came to our house asking questions. They talked to Dad, Grandma, and my teacher. They even talked to our neighbor, Mr. Miller, who sometimes gave me cookies. Finally, they talked to Ashley, my babysitter. I watched through the window as Ashley sat on our porch crying and talking to the woman with the clipboard. When the woman came back inside, she asked if she could speak to Mom alone. I sat on the couch watching them through the doorway. The woman was showing Mom something in her notebook. Mom's face went from terrified to confused to relieved in about 3 seconds. Mom came back. "Remember how you take naps on Ashley's couch?" I nodded. "Ashley and her boyfriend were playing on that couch and left bugs on it. That's where they came from. You rubbed your eyes after." "Wait, so the bugs came from Ashley's boyfriend?" I asked. "Does he just carry bugs around with him everywhere?" Mom and the woman both started laughing. Like actually laughing. Mom was wiping tears from her eyes. "Yes, baby. Apparently he does."